All right, show me the attendees, please. Attendees. Yeah. All right, welcome, welcome. I'm seeing some names pop up on our list here. Just gonna call out some names. Asya, nice to see you. Dawn, Fatma, Inji, Lydia, Mace, Maurice, Natasha, Noreen, Nazish, Rochelle, Rosina, Sadaf. Wow, Allison, thank you so much, everybody for coming. Ozen, Kodira, thank you so much. All right, so we're gonna go over a few logistics before we get started, and then we'll introduce each other, and then we'll get things on our way. Thank you all so much for coming. So let's give it a little bit of a minute. Now we've got about 30 people coming in. Mashallah, there's quite a good crowd here, so I'm very happy and grateful for all your interest. All right. Arriba para la chat, por favor. So just to let you know, this is me, Master Muhammad with Brain Education, and you got Manira, another trainer. She's also our live producer. So she's going to help you guys navigate with different angles and different camera settings. So we have a little bit of a studio here for you guys, so you get everything you need to know about everything that is emotional well-being, at least for the first time. All right, so let's see. I'm going to give it one more minute, and then we're going to get started. So for everyone who's with us so far, the way it's going to run is like this. We have our Zoom webinar. Some of you may be familiar with Zoom already, of course. And with the idea here is that you have the chat available to you. And I prefer that if you have any comments whatsoever, or if I ask you any questions, go ahead and type in the answers. But the good thing is that when you type in your comments or questions, they are private. So no one else can necessarily see them. But if I voice out your comments or questions out loud, it's because I felt this is a good comment or a question to voice to the rest of the group. So please feel free in posting anything you like, especially if you want to draw our attention to something. Like let's say the lighting is too strong, or you feel that the angle is weird, or you want some extra explanation. Don't be embarrassed by your question. So go ahead and ask it in the comments. It remains private and no one else can really see it. That's the way we designed this group. The disadvantage is I don't get to see you guys, but it's okay. I know that you guys are there, and so I'm going to ask for engagement just to let me know that you guys are following well and understanding. So if you are following well, just give me like a thumbs up or an okay, or type in any letter on the keyboard and press enter so I know that you guys are listening and can hear me just fine. All right, so also your hands raised. I see a lot of different people have their hands raised. I would rather keep the voices and the comments, like the voice comments, towards the very end so that you guys can actually voice your concerns, voice your comments, voice your questions. The last 20 minutes of this segment will be totally for you. So it's really valuable and important that we get the Q&A segment in and we are on time so that if you guys have any specific questions that I can also explain, you can ask it either in the question segment, or you can ask it like on your voice out loud and you want to voice your voice. Just raise your hand and Munira will raise you to be a panelist, and then you guys can speak out freely and your mic will be able to turn on, etc., etc. Great. So thank you, Mariska. Thank you, Mary, for the confirmation. Gina as well. Thank you for that confirmation. Beautiful. All right, guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started as people roll in because we have no time to waste. All right. First of all, welcome, and I have to thank your principal. Ms. Candice was really nice in approaching us and being so considerate. I have to tell you, I'm not sure what your personal interaction or engagement relationship with your principal is, and I'm sure it differs from person to person, but she came from the bottom of her heart wanting to kind of do something for you guys as a token. And I felt her heart in speaking with how much she really cared for everybody's well-being in this particular time, that we decided to really provide this session and multiple other sessions for free. And it's not a CSR project. It's just, I know how many people out here could be using with the benefit and the education that we have, or at least some benefit, right, that you extract from it. Any good will do. So I want you to have the mind that this is really for you. It isn't about me. It isn't about what content you learn. It isn't about the education that you guys have. This is more about what you extract from it, how you benefit from it. So whether it's a word I said or something you did through this process, please draw out as much intention as possible. And the attitude, just to let you know, is casual, right? So we're trying to be casual with each other because that means your mind is more relaxed, but it's also sincere. So we call that relaxed focus. Like you earnestly want to extract something from it, but your casual attitude and your relaxed focus actually allows you to extract more out of it. When you're very serious and you know that you put on some blinders and you try to look for some things, which leaves you out on looking for other things that you didn't think were useful at the start. So there it is. All right. So like I said, for those coming in, Dawn and Hermine, I see your hands are up, but I'm not sure if you guys have a question. I'd rather you guys just kind of note it down. Thank you. But anyway, you'll have a chance towards the end. So here it is. This is, by the way, an introduction. My name is Master Mohammed. I'm from the Brain Education Middle East Division here in Qatar, and we actually service the rest of the Middle East. We operate in about 17 different countries, online and offline. But you can say that Qatar is the headquarters. Little did people know. And what we specialize in is in holistic well-being. And you guys hear that all the time, but it's brain-based. What that means is we actually cover meridian-based trainings. What does that mean? Energy lines throughout the body that connect this body here to the mind. I'll explain how your body has a very direct toll on the mind and vice versa. How emotion isn't just up here or in here, but it's also down here too. So having a bit of a sensitization, your ability to actually feel what's inside here, will tell a very grave and big story about who you are and what you truly want. The other half of it is the Western neuroscience. So everything that we do with our body has a very real and direct toll and effect on our brain, the way we think, the way we feel, and the way we act. That's what we do. And from my personal perspective, I didn't educate myself in this academically to say, I want to take brain education as a university program so I can help people like how a doctor decides to help his patients. I was a patient myself. I was someone who needed the trust, the internal trust and confidence that I was losing, even though on the outside, everything seemed very successful. So I was young and successful, managing a team of about 400 people, and that was still in my 20s. And at the same time, I really felt like a lack of confidence and lack of trust was imbuing within me. And I had that sensibility because from a young age, I was involved in martial arts since the age of 4, actually. And so that inbuilt in me that sense of self-awareness, but also self-discipline. And so I had a readiness to delve into the self and self-discovery a little bit more. But it really was the adulthood that opened up the cracks, made them so obvious. The things I was lacking ever since I was a child in trust, be it with my parents or anything else in terms of circumstance. And I realized these are invisible things. And this is where I relate with every one of us here. We don't know when the circumstances are good that things are actually good. I remember a funny conversation I had with a very successful executive. And I said to him, why don't you try one of our programs? He said, I'm pretty good where I am. I said, oh, please elaborate. Like, what's your life like right now? And he said, I have a great family. I have a great work life balance. And I also living in a great place. And I think I'm good where I am. I said, well, that's great. And in my mind, right, I am thinking, these are all things he listed that were external circumstances, things that were actually outside of him or her. And now, within months, and not to dwell on the sad part or the heavy part here, his family's distant and they're semi-permanently distant because we don't know when they're going to be reunited again. Ouch. And his job, which he thought he was really good at, and he had at one point, he no longer has. And so that means he has to move out of the beautiful home that he was living in. And suddenly that very nice, short, simple list of why I'm good disappeared. And suddenly he isn't. And that really tells us how frail and vulnerable and really weak we can be when we note our happiness and our health and our sense of peace or, self-gratitude really is presiding on external factors that are outside of us, even if there is someone as close as our wife or husband or son or daughter or mother or father. And even they will be distant from us. And so I feel that this is really a blessing in disguise in which it really exposed our internal weaknesses. So in brain education, we hope to experience the idea of becoming the master of your own thoughts and master of your own emotions. Not to say that you control all of them, that's physically impossible. But for the sake of your goal, your emotions doesn't take mastery over you. Like your emotions don't drag you around. That's what mastery is, where the other state would be a victim mindset. Your thoughts don't take control over your actions. Your behaviors don't dictate who you are, because a lot of times we aren't able to do anything, and that means that we're incapable. No, it just means you aren't able to do anything now. And so this is the theme for today, what you signed up for. My emotions are mine, not me. My thoughts are mine, not me. And my actions are mine, not me. And I'll explain it from a brain perspective. So for those who like the more pragmatic, scientific, and the more tangible approach, I think you'll appreciate this. For those who like the philosophy and the more feeling and sensation, bear with me. Because there's a lot of us here, and I'm trying to cover a few things to make sure we're on the same page. So take a look at this. This is your brain, and this is going to be very beautiful to explain, not only for you, but also your kids. You guys are teachers, right? And some of you are staff. So you work with all kinds of age groups and backgrounds and functionalities. This is our brain. Now, there is a part of our brain, it's called the neocortex, which is responsible for our thinking. But if we only thought, that would be human. But we're not just our thinking brains. Inside our very brain is the very emotional center that regulates our memories as well as our emotion. When we remember something, we sometimes feel things. And when we feel things, sometimes we remember things. Like how trapped we feel, we remember all the times we were trapped in the past. Ouch, heaviness, burden. Oh. That's all over here. And that's all called the limbic system, and it's responsible for our emotion as well as our memory. Now, down here is our brainstem. Now, a little knowledge helps, by the way, because then you can apply it in your understanding when it comes to the experience. So we're going to experience something together today that helps you connect with this information to help you understand, oh, how are thoughts really not me? How are feelings really not me? They're just part of what I have. Here is called the brainstem, and it's responsible for everything that's automatic or autonomous or really unconscious. What do I mean by autonomous? Say your heartbeat. You're not exactly reminding your heart, hey, you missed a beat. Okay, it's back on track. No, it does it all itself, right? And your lungs, your breathing, your circulation, it kind of moves together as it does without your conscious intervention. In fact, if we had to consciously intervene to every part of our system, we'd die in a second. That tells us that your brain is really taking the load off of you a lot, right? And funny enough, a lot of people come to us with panic and anxiety, and I'm saying that's great, dude. Like, honestly, you had panic and you had anxiety, and they have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, I had panic and anxiety. Sure, the bad side is that you let emotions accumulate enough that it kind of built up to your autonomous function and it couldn't handle it anymore, and it had to actually shut your system down or put you into an alarm state, the panic, the anxiety. Okay, but be thankful to your brain that it didn't let it dwindle further. Your panic and anxiety is really just a fire alarm to tell your brain to shut things down and say, stop everything you're doing. Here's a red flag. So your brain's working for you. It's not working against you. That's my number one thing. You have to be friends with your buddy. This is a buddy. This is a buddy. And this is a buddy. All right. Why are we talking about this? Here's why. All of them from our day-to-day conscious living actually get represented in one part here. And this is going to be the area we focus on today. If any of you know your biology, some of you may be biology teachers, this is called the prefrontal lobe, but we're not going to dwell on names. We're going to dwell on what they do and why they're there. So the prefrontal lobe actually focuses on a lot of things, but here's the three things that help bring some context to the experience. Number one, they regulate your guided awareness and attention, meaning focus here, then focus here, then focus there, and then focus here for a very long time. Kind of like how kids do their homework. They have to switch between homeworks and assignments, or they have to stick on one project for a long time, like 6 months or so, where you guide your awareness. Similarly with you as teachers. Here's my classroom, gotta have a wide span of attention, and then suddenly here's a one-to-one tutelage. I gotta focus on this one person, and suddenly I gotta switch my attention to my parents because I'm thinking about them. Guided attention is a big part of your life. You're thinking of things in the past, things that aren't even here, things that are here. That's all guided attention from the prefrontal lobe. Number two, that's a lot already. Emotional regulation, higher level emotion regulation. I'm not talking about the base level like fear, anger. I'm talking about sympathy, compassion, frustration, more complex emotions. So how you regulate them during the day, that guy is also responsible. Number three, behavioral appropriateness, meaning, how some of us may be feeling very agitated now, bursting out with emotion, telling people off, telling your supervisors off, telling your kids off, telling your parents off, telling everyone off. And suddenly, when you come back to it, you wish you hadn't done that in some degree. And some of you wish you had. Maybe they deserved it. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm not the one to judge. Either way, we don't always behave the way we want to behave, right? That's behavioral appropriateness. Think of kids. Why'd you do that? And the kid goes, because they rationally couldn't explain their behavior because it wasn't necessarily behaviorally appropriate. This is all rational and conscious. When all of these guys swell up, and here's the kicker here, when kids come to me, when adults come to me and they say, I've got a concentration issue, guided awareness, I say, no, that's just the symptom. I've got a behavior issue, I can't control myself, I can't control my anger, I say, no, that's just the symptom. That's just the surface level, what shows up, what appears to everyone else. What you have is one of the other two things are being swollen up. For example, too much homework, guided attention all in one place, all doing one thing for the longest time, you're going to have an emotional outburst eventually, or you're going to behave appropriately or act in ways you don't usually behave. Here's another one more relevant. Say you're locked indoors for the longest time. Your natural behavior is to walk outside every once in a while. You've got a routine, and you also go out socially so you get a stronger distance over the course of a week. Here's how many times you do it. Your behavior is suddenly stagnant. It's changed. What do you think was going to happen to your awareness, your concentration, and your emotional regulation? They're going to go haywire also. Key message here, don't blame yourself. Be very kind and compassionate and forgiving to yourself, because naturally, according to your brain, change one, you'll affect the other two. But the other two is what people see. And they think, oh, they've got such rude behavior. They're mental, man. They're so emotional, but it's not really the case. So this is also a way to learn forgiveness for others. You can't blame them for how they behave or how they feel or even how they think or where they focus, because that's an onset symptom of something deeper happening inside. You have no idea. They may usually behave in a way where they're compassionate in the morning, seeing their wives off to work or their husbands off to work, and then they go off to work themselves. Suddenly, no husband, no wife. Their behavior is completely haywall, and it's flipped like this. What did you think was going to happen to their emotion or their awareness or even their ability to retain attention or focus on their job? They're going to perform poorly. So if anything you learned from this one little tidbit here is forgiveness and compassion, because what we see in other people are just the symptoms. They're not the real causes. And that's where the ideology of my mind, my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, they're not me. They're not who I am. They don't define who I am as a person. Carolyn, person X, may be a really kind person. She's just not that kind currently these last few months. She's just not that compassionate today. But it doesn't make her an uncompassionate person entirely. Someone has bad thoughts, or even aggressive behavior. Well, they're not an aggressive person. They just happen to feel aggressive today. And that's what they have right now. So please, 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 I know it's hard. You may think, no, that person really is like that. But maybe there's something of a history there. Maybe they've always had that issue. Go back to even parenthood and childhood. Imagine the person who wasn't really given all that tender compassion, care, and love. And that's really the only way they know how to treat others. But inside, they just wish they were at peace somehow. They just wish people would listen. And so they end up being temperamental, controlling, etc., because that's just the way the parents were to them. And they have no other way, no how to control or manage their circumstances. So they live with a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, and they put it up on people. But that's not who they are. That's just their behavior. That's just how they feel. That's just how they think. Okay, so I've done enough or somewhat of enough talking. I want to get to the practical. But does everyone understand this in terms of scientific principle as well as philosophical principle to some degree, right? So go ahead and give me some okay note. Was I a little too fast? Would you like me to explain a few things? Do you have any questions about what it is I said, or maybe some elaborations or some comments? Mary, thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. All right, anyone else? If you guys have any questions or comments, I'm just gonna wait here for a couple of seconds to kind of give you a chance to kind of tell me if, yeah, that was pretty clear. No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Or what? Who is this guy? Anything's okay. It's in private. Zahra, thank you so much for that confirmation. Rochelle as well. It was really good. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, good. Remember, this is for you in the end. Okay, Mace. Got it. Thanks. Rashna. Wonderful. Nice explainer, clear and comprehensive. Shahab. Wonderful. Thank you for that confirmation. Understood. Ingrid. That was good. Thanks. Wow. Okay, good. Seems to be getting it. Okay, for the most part. Fatma, thank you for that confirmation as well. All right, Samah. Beautiful. Okay, guys. So it looks like we're on the same page here. I feel like we're connecting on some points. I hope they're relevant. Of course, as we get to know each other more, and I kind of feel you out from your comments and hopefully later from your questions. I'm running out of air. From your questions, I hopefully can make it much more targeted and tailored for what you guys are experiencing also individually. I want this to feel as relevant as possible. Yeah, thank you, Mace, for acknowledging that. We all need that. Um, yeah, Luminita, I hear you completely. I hear you completely. Thank you. All right, so, okay, here we go. Here's what we're going to do right now. I know that this is an explainer, but we can talk all we want. We're just going to be stuck up here, thinking and deliberating and comprehending and blah, blah, blah. I want you to actually feel what it feels like, how your body can help manipulate the way you feel and the way you think with just a little movement in the following sequence. We're going to move our bodies in a way that actually opens up what I call meridian channels. So this is called Meridian Man. Actually, I named him. He's not really Meridian Man. These lines represent different organ connections around the body. Each of them hold a different emotion. For example, when you feel nervous, stomach. When you feel agitated, liver. When you feel that cold, brewing stress and sadness, intestines. So these are all these unexplained pains that physiologically you go to the doctor and they try to diagnose and they say, you're good, there's nothing there. There is definitely a connection between your emotional body and the way you actually hold it inside your muscles. Now, let me tell you this kicker, and this is going to help explain a lot of things. Did you know that inside the brain, this center here, the middle one, the brain processes, I'm going to say this twice, physical pain neurologically, like the way the cells talk to each other, in the same way it processes emotional and social pain. Let that sit for a little bit. Your brain processes emotional and social pain, like when someone hurts you, when you feel left out, when you feel like you're being abused, socially, emotionally, whatever, in the same way as it comprehends physical pain. Meaning when she tells me he broke up with me and it hurts, I believe her. The body is in pain, physical pain, but it's not actually physical because the brain perceives it in the same way. So all these psychosomatic tensions, we call them, all these pains inside the body, if you're waking up heavy, lethargic, joints aching, whatever, just a general bleh, that's more than likely a lot of emotion and social pain residing still in the body because the brain processes it in the same way. And that's a shocker for most people. That's why our program is not just an educational program, it's a movement program. So that's what makes it relevant to your body. Okay? So we're going to practice some unorthodox exercises. So you have to bear with me. I'll keep them simple, but they're going to feel so good after. If you have some initial discomfort, that's natural because we're actually exposing and sensitizing to those psychosomatic and social emotional pains. So if you wonder, what is that? Remember, my emotions are not me, so don't need to judge them. Just feel them out in the beginning, process them easily. I'll help guide you with that. And then after that initial movement portion, we're going to sit down just like this. Oops. Yep. We're going to sit down just like this in a way in which we can breathe. And I'm going to show you a very simple breathing method. Then we're going to get into some pretty cool meditation stuff. I'm not sure any of you have felt it. Energetic awareness meditation. Nice fancy words, but it's going to feel awesome. It's actually going to slow down our brain waves from a thinking state to a feeling state. And that helps us dump all the excess thought. And that's how you really know my thoughts are not me. They're not stuck with you all the time. They're temporary. And you can change them. Sounds like magic, but I'll let you be the judge. Okay. So from now on, no more sitting. I'm going to clear the deck. We're going to stand up. Cool? All right. So give me a second here. In the meantime, find a space where you have about, hands width around you. And then we're going to get started. All right. Move Meridian Man over here. This board goes back here. Feels like it's a classroom, right? And this guy goes over here for now. All right, and here we are. Here's our setting. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit so it fills up the entire frame. Body and mind is always connected, placebo and nocebo. Oh, good. Good mention of nocebo. Not many people know about that, actually. So power of the mind is amazing. So here's just a fun little tidbit. So if anybody knows placebo, that's the one that's more common. It's like you thinking that this is going to cure you, and it's just some water. You take it, you're cured. That's actually how medicine gets tested. In their final phases before they release it to the market. They find the effects are real, but the observer changes the effect. So they thought if the observer thinks it's not real or it is real, whatever. And the nocebo effect is the reverse. But this thing actually helps. Like this is Panadol, but you're told that it's not. And it won't help you, but you're going to take it anyway. You take it and it doesn't help you. So your brain actually stops the effect. Isn't that the same thing with our relationships? We get told these things help us, but we believe, nah, they're not going to do anything, and they don't work. And then they say, see, I told you. But that's your brain that did that. It could have actually helped you if you had a little bit of interest in it. So thanks, Juminita. I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you for that comment. All right, so here we go. First of all, we're going to do a little something called intestinal exercise. This is to help release a bit of the tensions inside our organs, altogether this entire gut area. Consistent, rhythmic, and relaxed movement. I'll show you. So make sure your joints are nice and soft. You want to have a gentle comfort in your body altogether. So your ankles are soft, your knees are soft, slightly bent, your hips are slightly bent, your shoulders are relaxed, your chest is nice and upright, and then your hands go here around the navel. So your navel, you can find it right there. Put your hands right here. And all we want to do is we want to suck in our navel, like we're trying to look good in the mirror, like, ooh, I look nice and thin. And then we're going to push out the navel. You may feel some pains right away, like, oh my God, this isn't comfortable. Stay with it. Try and relax the expression on your face. And whenever you feel that heat and tension, breathe out. That's it. So pull in, push out. Pull in, push out. Oh, stop. Actually, we're going to do something. Before we get going, I want to show you how much your body is holding emotion. We're going to do a flexibility test before we get started so you can see the before and after. Okay, so see your feet? They're down here, right? I want you to go ahead and bend over to touch your feet, just like so. Now, I don't want you to really force it down. I want you to just kind of like, just hang here for a second. Notice a few things. The distance between you and your feet. Like if you're down here, if you're up here, if you're down here, or you're way up there, doesn't matter, just notice. And then from here, I want you to actually feel where you feel the tensions, that's it. And rate them, like a 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10, that kind of thing. So notice the sensation and where it is, and also the distance, right? Okay, done that? Good, everybody together? Now we can do our intestinal exercise to show you how you don't need flexibility to loosen up your body and the emotional tension inside it. Okay, here we go. Pulling in, pushing out. Now recall that the hands aren't doing the work. They're not. Your stomach is. But your hands are there to bring your mind's attention to the area. I want you to really feel it. Feel the heat that's inside or coolness. Feel the muscles contracting and releasing. This is the whole process of sensitizing. We need to really connect with the feeling in our body. And that's how we can really feel out these pains and move them out. Now, as soon as you feel them, release the breath. You'll also notice some unconscious reactions, like your face goes, and you didn't know you made this kind of face, right? So always make a gentle and relaxed face, like you're kind of combing it over with something gentle. Just imagine like someone you really care about is kind of like caressing your face a little bit, and you're like, oh, that feels so good. Even if this feels uncomfortable, make your face gentle, soft. Like keep moving like this. Now you can match the breath with your movement, but you don't have to. But for sure, don't hold the breath. You can just move it because it's an exercise, not a breathing exercise. And as you move it in and out, just breathe out when you feel that tension, especially if you feel it in the chest. That's a bit of an emotional pain center. So when you feel that stuffy chest, that's real emotion there. That's that anxiety. That's also a bit of that sadness and maybe lonely feeling. Accept it. Your emotions, they're not you. You are not lonely. You are not sad. You're not anxious. You just have a feeling of anxiety. And obviously it's not with you all the time. Sadness doesn't dwell on you all the time. It may feel like it most of the time, but you didn't have it when you were born. You certainly won't have it when you die. And maybe this will be the same in 1 year, maybe it won't. You have no idea. And that's how you know it's impermanent. Keep going. We got about a minute left, and then we're going to do it super slow, breathing style. Keep your focus here. Don't let the breath stagnate. That breath is emotion, by the way. When you hold on to it, that's your anxiety building. Don't let it build. Breathe it out right away. I hope everybody's still with me. It's a very simple exercise, moving in and out, just like so, but it's going to do a world of work. If you do just 5-10 minutes of this every day, wow, the effects. Maybe if you did it like in lunch breaks as well, boom, bring your mind to center, focus it, clear out that emotion, feel the body. Your thoughts also slow down a little bit. Boom. You can even make like a little circle between you and your colleagues in your department or staff. Practice for 5-10 minutes, make it your ritual. Good. All right, now the breathing portion. Same thing, but we're gonna match the breath with a movement. So when you inhale, expand. And when you exhale, contract, okay? But be very active. Don't just be passive and let it go. Push and pull in both ways. All right, here we go. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contracted. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contracted. Really squeeze it. If it's in an uncomfortable position, it's okay. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contracted. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contracted. A couple more. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contracted. And let go. All right. Now, remember that test we did earlier? Please try it again. Go ahead now, bend forward, and see if you feel any difference. Remember, don't be forceful, just kind of hang there. Notice if you're any lower. 1. Notice if the feeling is still where it is or it's changed locations, and the degree of the feeling. If it's the same, different, less, or more. Now, more than likely, you may have noticed one of the following. You're closer, maybe not, but it also feels easier if you're in the same place. Also, where you felt it may have gone less or may have moved. That also tells you that pain, just like emotional pain, also changes. There you go. That's also permanent proof. And then have a look at your mind. Because we felt our body so vividly, are you thinking to the same degree as you were when you first started to exercise? Are you thinking of the same things? That's self-awareness. That's exactly what we're going for. If any of you felt any of the following, that means you did really well. And we just did that for about 4 minutes. Done. Okay? That's the end of the class. I'm kidding. No, we got more stuff to do. Okay. All right. Everything okay, Munir? Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. All right. So from here, I'm going to also show you something called plate balancing exercise. I'm going to keep the exercises nice, simple, and concise so that you can take it home and it's nice, easy to remember. All right. This next one is going to be a full body meridian opener. Make sure you're with me. I'm going to show it to you from different directions. First hand forward like this. Front leg bent. If some of you practice physical exercise, by all means, challenge yourself. You could be all the way down here, right? Totally fine. If you don't, up here is good too. But one leg bent, one leg straight. All right, lean out as far as you think you can. Now come back and keep this palm facing up. As you come behind you, your hand is flat still. Turn it around to the front. Okay, I'm gonna show you from different angles, so don't worry if you're not catching this. Bend the back leg, and then round in the top, over the head, and back to the front. Beautiful. Okay, let's do that one more time. I'm going to show it to you, like I said, from a different angle. So follow with me. Round to the back. Palm is still facing up. It's always facing the ceiling. That's that twist that we actually want. To the front. Now these are opening. All the tensions in here. Oh yeah. Bring it back over here. And now as you come round and up above the head, sweep it round. Now each time you do this, you're going to feel your lungs expand even further, even deeper. Música está bien? And then try again. To the back, to the front. Lean back with it all the way. And if some of you don't like all this mirroring stuff, I'm going to show it to you as if we're all facing the same direction. So here I am facing the same direction as you guys. We're staggered with the feet, one leg straight, one leg bent, arm forward, coming to the back here. Our palm is facing up. We swing it round to the front. We lean back a little bit. Now we keep the circle going overhead, round, and to the front. That's it. That's plate balancing. Oh my God, yes, it can feel very painful. But those pains, if any of you do have any necessarily back issues, spinal column issues, don't you worry. I have people over 60, 70, 80 doing this, especially when they have hip issues, because this is gonna expose much more psychosomatic tensions and emotional pains than it will actual physical pains. But if you're wary and if you're concerned, don't let the pain level rise above 5 or 6 out of 10 for that one. So like 10 out of 10 is intolerable. 5 is like, okay, I'm getting there. Keep it at that level. So go as far as you think you can go, but challenge yourself a little bit more. So don't be so worried. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Now, come on over here, breathe out. This is the other side now. We're working to the back, coming forward. Keep your focus, palm faced up. Now bring your weight all the way to the back. Keep that circle going all the way above you, and then to the front. Almaz, Allison, Alia, Ala, Aisha. Wow, I love it. So many cool new names. Thank you all so much for joining, and I hope that you're doing well. Remember, if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, I like to read, and I also like to guide as best as I can. All right, keep that going. Keep a sense and focus on where you feel it inside your body. So shoulders, back, leaning back a little bit. Feel the side of the body here as you notice it, right? Feel the side of the body here. Feel the front of the body, chest as it opens. As you release. Good job. Final view from the back so you guys can see me. Staggered with the feet so they're not exactly behind each other, otherwise you lose your balance. Then the hands forward, hand here or here, coming to the back, to the front. Now leaning back over the head. Ooh. Exhale. One last time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Wow. Okay. I'm going to show you a little bit of a tidbit while you guys catch your breath or cool down a little bit. See the meridians over here? So this guy is meridian man. That little zigzag of a meridian actually connects to your intestines. So if you feel a lot of tension over here in your shoulders, that's also your intestines, which is why we did them in the exact order. We did intestine exercise first, and then we went to the shoulders because they're actually connected. So usually shoulder tension is connected to gut tension down here. And that's what I'm talking about. Your psychosomatic tensions in your body are very much connected to the organs as well as the emotions that you carry in them. So that's why we did it in that order. Didn't you feel like your body got warm really quickly? It's weird because it's such a slow exercise, but it's very focused. When you bring your mind to your body like that, body warms up really quickly. But your mind cools down, you're not thinking as much, I'm sure of it. If not, please do it a little bit stronger, challenge yourself a little bit more. Okay. Now we're going to do the Whopper, the challenge, both together at the same time. So we're going to do a little bit of a horse riding stance, a little bit of straddle stance here. Okay. There's our camera, nice and set. Okay, so from here, palms out, I'm going to sit back like I'm sitting on a chair behind me. So showing it to you from the side, right there. So like there's that chair behind me. It's a high chair, like a stool, and I put my hand out. So I'm extending my back just by putting my hands out. Now from here, follow with me, mirror me. Coming back, behind, good. And now from here, keep the palms up, keep the palms up, Oh, you're getting that nice little twist in your shoulders. Keep the palm up as much as you can. Push the hips forward and cross the arms over here. Expand the arms out and open, out and open. Oh, you're feeling a little bit of a tremble or a shake. Hold it right there. Oh, this is so beautiful. Right here is exactly where the lungs are getting a little more open. Your hips, where we hold a lot of emotional tension, not just physiological tension from sitting all day, and you're gonna start to shake a little bit and tremble a little bit. Let your body shake. Breathe out as soon as you feel that shake. You can feel the stuttering in my breath, right? So that is supposed to expose those lines that we just showed you. So hold it right there, hip forward. If you're worried about your back, squeeze the butt together to protect the low back, and then release. Good job. Now this is movement, and some of us may not be, the most moving person or agile person, but that's the point. It's trying to shock your body as well as your brain. You're trying to expose it to new feelings. The emphasis is not the exercise, it's the effects of it, right? So sticking with the effects. The effects is meant for our brain and our heart. So open up, push the hips, cross the arms. So don't say, I'm not usually a sportive person. I'm not used to movement. It's not about the movement. It's about the way it feels. So feel the shaking, the trembling here. Open up the arms. You should feel it right in the hips, right in the chest. Let your arms burn a little bit. It's okay. Breathe it out. You're releasing that tension inside the body. And come down. A little challenge is okay. Let's do that 2 more times. To the back, to the front, all the way crossing, opening. Well done. Keep that going. Hold it there. Push yourself a little bit more. And really, if you're worried about your back, just squeeze the butt together, the thighs together, and that's what's going to protect your low back. Exhale. Wonderful. One more time. All right, inhale in. Nice smile on your face. Tell your brain it's okay, even though you feel like you're suffering. Or maybe this is too easy. Who knows? All the way to the back. Round. Hai Shunada. And release. If you guys are wondering what it is I just said, Ai Shunada means feels so good in Korean, or feels so cool. So this is rooted in Korean practice and philosophy. So we often use some Korean words to really express how we feel. If you have a little bit of water or towel or napkin beside you and you're perspiring a little bit like I am, go ahead and take that opportunity. Okay. Release. Notice how your breath now sits a little bit deeper, like it actually relaxes a little bit more into the diaphragm. You feel like when you take a breath, your lungs are expanding a little bit further. And it actually feels so good on the mind when you can take that longer, deeper, smoother, softer breath. That noticing is very powerful for the mind. Okay, we did this. We're going to do it the other way. So refreshing. Wonderful, Rochelle. I'm glad you feel that way. All right, so let's do it the other way, okay? Reverse the direction. I'm going to do it with you this time facing the same way as you guys, okay? So we did it before with our hands going back like this. Now we're going to start in the reverse with our hands opening out, pushing the hip forward. Arms go way back here. Really push the arms open and out. That lung line, meridian line, is opening out. Your chest is shivering, your solar plexus is opening, your hips and abdomen are pushing forward. Everything is active. And then cross the arms, sit the hips back, turn the arms backwards, and then down, under, and through. Okay? I'm going to show that to you from the front and then again from the back. Opening up. What is the best temperature to do these exercises? Well, that's a really good question, Mace. I'll give you the answer. Usually, you don't want a room that's freezing or cool, but this is a really good way to warm up the body. So you want to come to a temperature where you can at least feel your own body's temperature. Anything where you can actually feel a difference in degree of temperature inside your own body, that's a good external temperature. But I sometimes do it even in the outdoor exercises when it's windy and members feel like their body gets super warm regardless of how cold it is outside. And that's very good concentration and consciousness. So anything that doesn't distract you from the heat inside your body. There it is. I hope that answers your question, Mace. Thanks for the question. All right, so from here, inhaling up, cross the hands to the back and forward. So whenever you feel like your body starts to shiver, turn off the AC or go to a warm place, because that cool feeling is actually stagnant, old, or let's call it more heavier emotion exiting the body. It will literally rise to the surface and your skin will feel a tremble or a shiver or a coldness. That's very natural for this kind of emotional movement training. Okay? Good question. All right, so from here, we've done our exercises. Now we're going to finish off with one final, really simple exercise to open up the circulation to the rest of our body. We often do this all day, but we don't really move our hips around. I'm not going to ask you to do the twist like Elvis, right? I mean, we could. That's a different session altogether. Maybe when we get more into it. But this is a good one. I want to give you 3 solid exercises you could do in your own time, at least at home, on a couch somewhere, or even in your office chair, okay? So we're going to pull the chair back again. And this one is called toe tapping. Really fun one. And if anyone suffers from sleep or insomnia kind of symptoms, this is going to be the one to put you to sleep. Do 10 minutes of this, as painful as it is, and I guarantee you're going to have a much more restful night. Anyone who comes to me with those kinds of symptoms, I usually prescribe about 10-15 minutes of this in addition with the intestine exercise, and you're right as rain. All right, everybody. So extending the feet out, sit on the edge of your seat, because if you sit further in, your knees are going to be bent, but I want them straight, right? And so it's also going to cut off the circulation from underneath your thighs. So let your thighs hang nicely and out. Sit at the edge, heels together. Now what we're doing is a few things. If you guys know reflexology, we're actually activating all the points at the bottom of our feet. And we're also moving the hips, so we're increasing circulation throughout the whole body. A lot of times disease, general health, vitality conditions really can get sourced in something as simple as circulation. Blood pressure, heart rate, sleeping issues, immune system issues, clarity of thought issues. It's just a distribution of circulation. Distribute the circulation well, and you're going to alleviate a lot of those symptoms. So all I'm doing is when heels are touching, as much as you can. If you're out here and you can't get your thighs together, it's forgiven. Mistakes are okay. We're going to turn this thigh bone here, the femur bone, in and out. See? Manira is working overtime to make sure that you guys get all the right angles. She's like jumping from camera to make sure that you guys are getting all the right stuff. So all it is a turning of the feet, and we're tapping the feet together right at the bottom. This tapping of the feet is quite important to help really feel that shaking across the toes. That's what's going to activate the organ system. And we're going to feel a little bit of a burn sensation here in the thighs, or maybe the internal thighs, because we don't hardly ever use these muscles. But at the same time, it's what's going to help pull that circulation down. Your brain's going to think, oh my God, what's happening down here? This is really hard, and it's going to bring attention to it. That attention is going to bring energy, because you know that nice Instagram meme you keeps going around where the mind flows, energy goes? Well, this is it. Your mind's here because you can't ignore being what's happening here, and your energy circulation will go down there. And here's what you do with your breath. Whenever you feel it. That tension, I need it to be felt. Feel that tension. You can slow down, slow down, but don't stop. You've got to feel that tension. You got to notice how much is stuck inside your hips, emotionally, even physically. And then speed it up if you want a nice challenge. We're going to do another 30 seconds of this. Oh my God, my thighs are burning, my hips are burning. Good. Such a simple exercise, but so effective in changing the distribution of your circulation. Keep exhaling out. Beautiful. Jiminita, looks simple, but it's not. I felt it in my tummy and knee. Yes, exactly. Because when your hip joint turns, you're actually going to add circulation to your intestines, and it's going to change the way it feels. Very good observation. And your knees. If your knees are weak and you've had knee issues in the past, it's not actually a knee issue. So also one of my specialties is musculoskeletal and consciousness alignment. But it's going to be a hip issue that affects the knee. So well done. Relax a little bit. Feel your toes here. Notice how there's that tingling sensation, that numbness feeling. No need to analyze what it is, but notice that it's there. That's how we build more of a connection with our body. Just notice it for now. And notice your breath. Don't hold the breath. Release that breath. Beautiful. Every time you have a chance, you give yourself a chance to release the breath. Is emotion escaping? Is emotion leaving the body? You're doing really well. We're going to do this one more time, at least. Get ready, round 2. All right, here we go. Go ahead and tap. See, the attitude is casual, right? We don't want to be really forceful on ourselves, like we have to do this. Just do your best and have a relaxed opinion about it. And at the same time, sincere. Like you know something's good going to come from it. You just have that belief, but you're doing the work anyway. Sincere, but relaxed. And exhale out. Keep tapping, feeling the hips, feeling your toes. Like I said, if you're out here and you can't get your feet together, that's okay. But try as much as you can to get the heels together. And you can slow down, but don't stop. Good. We're doing this for another 30 seconds. Everybody's doing really well, by the way. I'm sure of it. I can feel it. Everyone's really nice and focused. I'm going to call out Abu Said, Adrian, Aisha, Hermine, Nancy. Wonderful job, everyone. Great job. Exhale out. Manuri, yes, it is great. Absolutely. Stephen, keep that going. Keep that focus. And relax. Ay, shunada. Feels so good. Okay, everybody. So we're on from our first portion on to sequence number two, the breathing. Honestly, very simple. Sit towards the edge of your chair. The reason is because I'd like your feet to be firmly planted on the floor. So if your chair is too high and it feels like a stool, but your feet are off the ground, no good. You got to feel your feet planted on the floor. That's number one. Reminds you of childhood, isn't it? It just gets you feel younger. Very nicely commented, Mace. So just let your kids join along. Like, hey, let's distribute our circulation and make our health better. You know, and you start tapping away. And you can do this, by the way, lying down. That's what I meant about the sleeping. So when you do this lying down, you have your hands placed out at 45, not up here. Otherwise, you raise tension in your shoulders down here at 45, and you tap, 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 tap away. We did it for a total of about 3 minutes between both rounds. Do it for 10 minutes on and off. It doesn't matter, but 10 minutes continuously was the best. And then you'll feel a very deep relaxation, both in your lungs, your circulation, and as well, hopefully, in your sleep. Here we go. Hands resting here. In the beginning, I want you to feel, not necessarily focus. There's a difference. Hand is here on your chest. And I want you to feel as though the air coming in through the breath is actually filling up your chest. Imagine it's a balloon. No? Good. Get the mood right. From here, go ahead and inhale. Feel the chest expand. The chest is pushing out. And when you exhale, feel the chest come down. Let's zoom in on this. So I want you to actually feel the chest expanding up. And the chest coming down. When we have attachment issues, we're trying not to let go of things. So we find that our breath is generally short. And the way it affects our body is our breath doesn't delve deeper when it really can. This shows you how many things that inside your mind you're holding on to, and it's affecting the way you breathe. You don't have to be as slow and as long as my breath. Yours can be shorter. But for the most part, just at least feel the chest moving. That's the main thing. Inhale. And exhale. So really feel this chest. Make a connection like you're trying to say, hey heart, it's okay. Exhale out. Like you're trying to say, hey lungs, you guys are doing fine. Inhale. Exhale out. Exhale. Ah. Good job. The second style of breathing is going to involve your imagination, not just your feeling. So we're going to actually imagine, and imagination is a very strong component of your brain's creativity. When we employ our imagination, we actually get the feeling of safety because it's required to be creative. You need to feel safe to some degree to be creative. So imagine as though the breath is coming in through here, but it circles and then it travels out through your fingers here. Okay? So imagine like you're drawing a river line between your heart, your shoulders, and then down to your fingers. And it doesn't have to feel like the air is coming there. For some of us, we're very sensitive and we can create that feeling, like that placebo nocebo effect, which Anita spoke about earlier. So go ahead, try and imagine. You can imagine colors, shapes, lines, rivers coming down from mountains. It's all free steak. Inhale here. Exhale. Keep that cycle going, like rains coming down from your mind. Gathers at the top of the mountain. Exhale down the river of your hands to your ocean. Clouds raining down in your heart, cooling the heart. And then from the heart releases all its attachments down through the river channels back to the ocean. And you can play this with kids, right? Kids love using their imagination like this. It makes breathing so much more fun. Inhale, like the rainy clouds of your mind are bringing down all that heaviness, and your heart says, no more. And you breathe out all those feelings out through your palms. One last circle. Inhale in and exhale. Out. All right, on to the third sequence. This next one is going to be called Qigong Energetic Awareness Meditation. So we're actually going to be feeling what's something between our hands. So focus with me here. Keep the spine nice and straight. You don't want to be hunched over, right? Otherwise, you're closing on the feeling of the heart and the lungs. So open up the lungs and the heart. Imagine like there's a string pulling your spine up, keeping you nice, tall, and centered. All right, so from here, I want you to bring the hands together and rub them. Make them super hot, super warm, super hot, like extremely hot. I want you to shake them, sensitize your hands, know that you've got these hands, make it very clear and obvious. And this next sequence is going to help us slow down our brain waves from thinking more to feeling. And then I want you to clap 10 times wherever you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Open up the hands really quick. Close and open them really quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And relax. Bring them in front of each other. Have a little space between the elbow and the body. And notice the feeling between these hands, right in the middle of the palms and around the hands. Just notice the feeling. I want you to slowly bring your hands together like you're experimenting on the feeling, but without touching. This is called Qigong. Our bodies produce bioelectric matter, whether it's inside our blood or inside our nerve endings. And we know that this magnetic field exists because we always do MRIs. And how do you think MRIs measure everything inside our body? From the magnetic resonance that it produces. So your bodies are walking magnetic fields. All from the chemical hormonal reactions happening inside the body. Whether it's your sadness producing certain hormones, and it has a certain field produced. Whether your brain is producing feelings of happiness. So I want you to really feel how this feels. Does it feel soft, strong, smooth, tingly, like it's attracting something or like it's being pushed away. Notice the sensation as you open and as you close. And in order to be really creative, try and, change the way you move. They move around each other. They can swirl a little bit, see how the feeling change, but keep with the feeling. No need to analyze, no need to overthink it. That part comes later. Here, we're feeling. As you move, you can also kind of change the direction a little bit. Like a little cosmic ball of energy between your palms. Almost like there's a galaxy inside here. And you're trying to discover it. Open it up, see how far it expands before you lose the feeling. And then see how much you have to come close to keep feeling the feeling. How does it feel when it's this close? Or further away? Well done. Keep moving with the feeling. You can even change the way they move, as I mentioned. Here comes your creative space. This feeling is your feeling alone. No one's really telling you what's right, what's wrong, how to move, how not to move. Just like no one should really be judging the way you think, how to think, what to think, or even the way you feel, how to feel, what to feel. They're your feelings. They don't represent you. You in terms of the identity you, who you truly are inside, and what you truly want. Your feelings are just things you have. They don't make you who you are. And you need to let that information and message be heard not only to yourself, but to everyone around you, your kids, your families, so that they don't feel ostracized because of them, so they don't feel judged because of them, so that they don't alienate themselves because of them. When you rest your hands, you notice that inside, your own feelings have changed quite a lot from the way you started. Your own thoughts have changed quite a bit from where you started. And that's the proof to let you know. Because if they were you, they would be absolute. Rub your hands together, make them nice and warm. Rub, 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 rub. And then go ahead and cover your eyes. Rolling your eyes to the right once, and then to the left, up and down. Sweep your face down. Wow. And then go ahead and sweep your head, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, all the way down to your feet. So, well done. That's the end of our practical. I'll have a recap of what we just did. All we did was we opened up the meridian elements of our body because we wouldn't be able to breathe so evenly and naturally had we not opened up the channels in our body with our mind as well as we did and felt them like we did. And we did the breathing sequence, but that helped us accumulate and move our emotions a lot more easily before we can actually feel what's left, our true inner essence. And that energetic awareness is something anybody can feel. You don't necessarily have to be able to jump straight to it. If you jump straight to it, you're very sensitive. But if you don't feel it right away in your day to day, it just means you need a little bit more circulation, distribution, and opening of the body or connection with the mind. And then you can feel this anytime you want. So go ahead, please share how it is you feel, comment. I'm going to now open up the panel for you guys. You can raise your hands, and Munira is going to go ahead and allow you to speak, and that's when you can, whatever. No, not yet. And then from there, you're going to tell me also, if you like, your comments and how it is you felt. So Hermine, you're now allowed to talk if you have something to say or share. And if you do, be sure to share this how you felt or relaxed. Luminita, thank you so much. We are feeling so relaxed. Wonderful. Also, this is your chance for questions. If you have any questions or concerns, or even anything specific, I won't, pick on you and, make it specific, but I will give you the general answer. So if anyone does have anything they wish to share, say, ask, thanks. Notokozo, I hope I said that's fine. Thank you. It was so relaxing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay. All right. Rochelle, this was amazing. I hope you're able to be able to find time to unplug like this. Yes, I hope so too. Stick around because I will be making some announcements about exactly that. Luminita, it's not only me, it's the other three teachers from OES. Wow, that's amazing. Ingrid, thank you so much. Thank you so much for trying something new. And Maurice, thank you. This was amazing. I thank you for being here. And Ingi, thank you. Had such fun for our bodies are definitely relaxed. That's good. Latoya, that was definitely needed. Hasnan, feeling good, beautiful. Fatma, that was interesting. I bet it was, right? Zahra, thank you. Rashna, thanks a lot. I feel so relaxed now. How does one do for more? What does one do for more training? Good. I'll answer that right away. Rochelle, it was fun. Can kids try these? Heck yeah. That's the reason why I gave it to you the way I did, because you can share them. Mimes, thanks a lot. Thank you. You let us relax after work. I'm glad. Gina, thank you so much. Thank you. And Noreen, very nice. Amazing session, Samar. Thank you. That was very relaxing exercise. Thank you. That's stupendous. Marie, I'm glad you think so. And we needed this. Oh, wow. Great, great, great praise. It keeps going on. Thank you so much, everybody, for taking part. We just need time to do these exercises. Frowny face. But I have some good news for you. Don't worry about it, Mace. Definitely very relaxing and helpful. Thank you so much. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what you can do from here on. There's a few things that we have available for you. So Ms. Candace has actually told me to inform you that we have 3 live sessions weekly that are for free. You can join us on Sundays, on Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And the good news is because we have your emails, we're just going to send you that one email to let you know that you can join these sessions anytime you want. And what's even better is that all our past sessions are recorded just like this and are on our YouTube. When we post stuff on our YouTube, they're quality, they're high grade, and they don't withdraw back on any of the information or the practicals. So you can actually get into more deeper stuff on our YouTube as well. And we're going to give you the link for that also. I also wanted to let you know that we are going to be hosting a retreat camp later in the 2nd of January. That's a Saturday, so it's a weekend. If you guys want to be involved with that or have some interest, just email us back and you let us know. But we don't have you signed up yet. So if you do want more information about how you can get access to these trainings for free, just sign up to our subscription newsletter. We're going to send you that link in the email. If you want to, then go ahead. And if you don't, then I'm glad that you guys came today. And then the live sessions are also for free, available to anyone in the public. And we have people from 17 different countries joining in every time. It's a beautiful community, guys. And I make sure that I answer all your questions. I really do, because I want everybody to know that this is something new. It's not necessarily it does come as common sense. It seems really simple, right? But the implication of it is so profound and so deep. So I hope that we can guide you with that. So Mace will be happy because we need someone to encourage us. Yes, definitely. Amazing session. Thank you so much, Stephen, for that comment. All right, everybody, if you do have any more questions or comments, we're not, it doesn't end here. You're going to have our email. So please go ahead and send us back any queries. Yes, you can do this with other teachers. Yes, you can share this with everyone else. Yes, you can do this with your kids. Yes, you can do this on your own. All we did was the intestine exercise, the plate balance, and guess what? One final surprise. We're going to send you this recording link to your emails as well. So you're going to get 2 emails from us. One is the right away, immediate, here's the sign up links. But if you guys want to repeat this particular exercise itself, we're going to send you a second email with just the recording. I hope that's going to be helpful. When and where. So Fatma, if you thinking Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, that's going to be online. Sunday is going to be at 7 Doha time. Tuesday is going to be at 8 on Instagram Doha time. And then Thursday is going to be on Zoom as well at 7 Doha time. We're going to send all that stuff to you. So don't you worry. You're going to get everything in your email. Wow. Thank you so much. I hope that this has been helpful. And I wish that we can also meet in person one day and then we get a little bit closer. Remember, just reply back to us if you have any queries or questions. And thank you most of all for Ms. Candace for making this possible, that I'm here because of you and that you are there to receive. So I wouldn't do my job unless there was someone to receive it. So thank you so much yourself for being here. All right, Asha, thank you. Thank you for this amazing session, Coach. Thank you from all our branches. Wow, thank you, Miss Candice. Thank you so much. All right, so if you guys want to do it again and you speak some Arabic, I'm going to mix it up a little bit tomorrow. We're going to have an Arabic session Same time. So go ahead and sign up for that as well if you wanted to. All right. So you get twice as good. Or you just want to repeat the session, just follow the movement portion. A lot of people do that as well. Okay. I'll do this at home. Yes, Kazel, I think you should. All right, guys. So I hope this was it. If you guys have any more questions, I'm gonna let you off early so that you have a little bit extra time. I know how teachers are very prized on their personal time. Being a teacher myself. Anyway, and I hope that you have a great, wonderful day ahead. I'm at your disposal if you need anything, and hope you a blessed, blessed day. Masterman is out, and I'll see you next time.